Hello everyone and welcome to WGBS TV Live, brought to you by SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. In this, our November 2018 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including the most recent Supergirl episode, all the details coming out about the Elseworlds crossover, and we're going to be talking comic books as well. We'll also be turning to you to take your questions and comments on any particular Superman, Supergirl or Justice League topic you'd like to discuss. And to let you know how all that works, let me introduce you to my co-host, Mr. Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve. Now, since WGBS Live is all about Superman, we want to hear from Superman fans that are watching us live on Facebook, though I'm sure some of you are not watching us live on Facebook, or maybe are watching us live on Facebook as you prepare Thanksgiving dinner, which is coming up here in the States. So around the halfway mark of the show, and if we don't have too much on the docket, we'll start taking your calls. To do this, you'll need Skype. Log into Skype, find Superman homepage, and message us that you'd like to join us. Wait for us to reply, please, and we'll try to get you on the show.
Yes, and don't forget to mute your computer if you do get on, because there's that delay thing going on, and we don't want you talking over yourself and over us and having it echo in the background. And for those of you tuning in live via Facebook to watch tonight's show, next to that video, below that video, we invite you to post your comments and ask questions, and Michael and I will keep an eye on those comments to react to them as the show continues. And a huge thank you to our sole patron at the moment, Douglas Meacham. Thank you for your support. Now, Mike, it's been an interesting week. There's been lots happening in the CW area of news, but how's things been in your neck of the woods?
Oh, it's crazy. Always crazy. You know, I realize I say that every week, and it's not like it's always crazy for the same reasons. This particular week, of course, we've got the Thanksgiving coming up in a couple days, so the house right now is full of really good smells because my wife has started prepping today, so there were some pies baked and some sweet potatoes cut up, so it's going to be really good on Thursday, and I'm going to be really tired after that because work is just going to go crazy.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, well, we don't do Thanksgiving here in Australia. Sweet potatoes, I love them. Did they call them yams as well there in the States?
Yeah, they call them yams. Rachel mashes them, puts the spices in it, mashes it up, and she puts this, here it's called Senator Russell's sweet potato souffle.
Okay.
And it's a covering of like brown sugar and pecans and stuff, and it bakes on top of it. It's really good.
Nice. Send me a piece. A slice.
Okay, I don't want to know what it's going to be when you open
Orange
that up.
mush.
But you're thankful every day in Australia because, as the joke goes, everything there is trying to kill you.
Except people with guns. But
that was him, folks. That wasn't me.
Yeah, well, let's not get political. Let's leave that to the Supergirl TV show. And we'd like to start with actually movie news, not TV news, here on WGBS TV Live. And there isn't a lot of movie news, except today there were a couple of little pieces. I've kind of forgotten about this one. It hasn't had a lot of news coming out about it in recent times, but there is a Superman versus the Ku Klux Klan movie in production, and today they announced that Adi Shankar, who's best known for Castlevania on Netflix and Devil May Cry animated series, has come on board as a producer for this film, which I'm very much looking forward to when it finally gets released.
Yeah, it's Rick Bowers, I think
That's right.
name of the author that wrote that excellent book on it, and you can find the actual Clan of the Fiery Cross episodes on archive.org and listen to them. I mean, it's one of those stories that's an amazing story in the fiction, but then when you discover like all the background of it and all of the myths that have sprouted up about it, I'm really glad that they're doing this because one, it's timely. And two, it's nice that something Superman is coming up like this.
Now, for those who aren't up on what this is all about, the movie is being adapted from the book that Michael referenced. Now, the movie will chronicle a former Klan member who goes undercover in 1946 Atlanta and works with the Anti-Defamation League and the producers of the Superman radio show. Now, it says here, Mark Rosen said, fighting the forces of evil with brain over brawn, artists taking down bullies, and the power of a good piece of content. It's a real case of truth being cooler than fiction. We're excited to develop the thriller elements of the film in the vein of The Departed and Mississippi Burning, which would be awesome if we do get something along those lines. And it's very much a real-life, interesting story about how the Superman radio series combated the hate and the vitriol that was being spread by the KKK at the time, and were undermining their efforts through the radio series.
Yes, and if you haven't read the book, it is available on Audible, which is how I actually consumed it. And it not only does it give you, kind of the obligatory brief history of Superman and the Superman radio show, but it goes really deep into the history of the Klan itself and what things were like in the southern United States after the Civil War. There were things in there that I was not aware of my adopted home world, so to speak. Since I moved to this area, over 20 years ago. And if they can kind of not make it too over the top, but still make it kind of a gripping story and just how this whole thing played out and who Stetson Kennedy was. I mean, if it's as good as Hollywoodland was, we're in good shape.
Yeah, so looking forward to getting more information about that as they continue producing this film. But the other thing that we've got in Movie Land is another fan film starting up a Kickstarter. Now, the guys behind DC Shorts, these films that are based in the DC universe, are now creating a fan film called Defiance, in which Lois Lane goes up against the Joker. Now, these guys created the Man of Tomorrow fan film. They created the recent The Awakening Joker movie. So they have a history of making DC fan films, and this one is coming out, I guess, next year or so. But they're doing the fundraising at the moment with a Kickstarter, which you can find a link to on our website.
I'm wondering the legality of that.
Of creating a Kickstarter for a fan film?
Yeah, like that.
For a DC
that seems
property, yeah.
I mean, if they're not going to make any money off of it, I can see it. So they're just crowdsourcing something that a fan's going to do, and DC has been, pretty good about the various fan projects that have happened over the years. I'm sure this is going to be fine, and it'll probably end up being a good movie. Lois Lane versus the Joker, what's going to happen? Is he going to kill her at the end? I really don't think that's going to happen.
No, well, it says this film will speak about very modern themes like fake news, mass social media, and cyber manipulation. How that comes into play with the Joker, I'm not sure. But I can see Lois investigating those kinds of themes, but well, look, we'll wait and see. These guys do create some pretty good films. Man of Tomorrow was a pretty good fan film. I haven't seen the other that they've created, if they're not Superman related, but more power to these fan films. Some of them really go that extra mile and create some really great storytelling.
Oh yeah, I wasn't trying to put down people who create fan films. This is like one of those, when you hear a story idea, it's just like, I don't know about that.
Also, it kind of raises the legality of, as you say, they're requesting money for sketches that they're drawing of licensed characters like Superman or Batman or, Spider-Man, but they're kind of making just kind of cash sales of these drawings that they're doing. Are they selling their artwork, or are they cashing in on a property of a licensed property from another company?
Yeah, it's such a gray area because, yes, they're accepting money from it, but it's almost like it's like something that would when I was working in the print department that we would come up against from time to time. There are Etsy, the Etsy store has people that creates custom kids' birthday invitations and posters that have comic book characters on them. And they're really not supposed to sell it, but Etsy is such a large monolithic website that you actually have to report these people for anything to happen. But then when people would bring it to my work to have it printed, and I would have to tell them we can't do that because we can't accept money to print the copyrighted characters essentially, unless they had some kind of release, which in this area you get because of the Marvel films being filmed in this area. But it's just this weird thing, like the artist can draw it, but I don't think they can put it up like on a website to sell, theoretically. Now artists sell prints though, so that does happen. Like Art T. Bear has on his website a bunch of prints that he's done, but most of those he did for DC, and he's just selling a print of his artwork because I think he technically owns the artwork.
They're requesting money for sketches that they're drawing of licensed characters like Superman or Batman or Spider-Man, but they're kind of making just kind of cash sales of these drawings that they're doing. Are they selling their artwork, or are they cashing in on a property of a licensed property from another company?
Yeah, it's such a gray area because yes, they're accepting money from it, but it's almost like it's like something that would when I was working in the print department that we would come up against from time to time. There are Etsy, the Etsy store has people that creates custom kids' birthday invitations and posters that have comic book characters on them. And they're really not supposed to sell it, but Etsy is such a large monolithic website that you actually have to report these people for anything to happen. But then when people would bring it to my work to have it printed, and I would have to tell them we can't do that because we can't accept money to print the copyrighted characters essentially, unless they had some kind of release, which in this area you get because of the Marvel films being filmed in this area. But it's just this weird thing, like the artist can draw it, but I don't think they can put it up like on a website to sell, theoretically. Now artists sell prints though, so that does happen. Like Art T. Bear has on his website a bunch of prints that he's done, but most of those he did for DC, and he's just selling a print of his artwork because I think he technically owns the artwork. On some level, something is going to happen at the end of this season where either his organization is going to get completely out of control and he's going to have to stop it because it's going farther than he wants it to, or something is going to make him see the error of his ways. Or they could go really dark and just have him go all in. I mean, Whitwer can play any one of those, in all honesty.
True.
So, and I thought, the conversation that James was having with the one member of the Children of Liberty was again, it was kind of a nuanced conversation. And, he's like, don't use that kind of language in front of me. He's like, well, what do you call them? He goes, well, you're just using that to dehumanize them because then it's easier to hate them. And it's just like, okay, that's absolutely why they do stuff like that. So
exactly.
I just, it's interesting though, again, with the civil rights allegory that's going on here, that they have a dog or dogs trained to find aliens. It was a very common practice in the South to have dogs basically there to intimidate or attack African Americans, to kind of quote unquote keep them in line. So it was kind of interesting that James was walking around with him and the dog was there, and he's just like, you don't like dogs? I'm like, I don't know if they're going for that.
I haven't seen enough of the Munsters to know if they had a dragon under the staircase, but I'm guessing Justin is on the money there.
The stairs would come up and the fire would come out of it. So it was, yes. So it's possible. I mean,
that could have been.
I don't know who owns the Munsters. So
yeah, it could have just been a nice tribute there that they've thrown in. But and John is asking what our thoughts on Kara and Ben meeting for the first time. It was an interesting point in the show because he met Supergirl earlier as well. So
yes,
yeah, he's not as smart as he thinks he is either. Then, if he doesn't recognize them as one and the same.
Well, what I liked is the secret identities are basically meeting.
Yes, that's very true.
And having a very... The only reason I would say it's kind of an unrealistic depiction of a cable news show is they weren't yelling at each other.
Or over the top of one another.
Yeah, because it was actually a very civil conversation, so I'm like, this is science fiction. But the fact that they offered him his own show, that is only going to complicate matters for him. Because it's all well and good to have this kind of fringe web thing going on, but when you're, I am thinking the idea is that it puts him in a more public position and therefore he can spread his message and make it more mainstream. But I think it would also be harder to maintain the identity of Agent Liberty at that point.
Very true, very true. All right, well, let's have a look towards next week, and the upcoming episode is called The Fallen Angel, and we have the promo for that right now, so check it out.
By tomorrow night, Supergirl will be dead. I want you to destroy something.
If you blow up that monument, everyone's gonna think you with them.
Device now on.
I do this in the name of humanity.
Supergirl, all new this Sunday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
So there you have it. There was the promo for The Fallen Angel, and it was interesting to note that the lenses in the masks from this previous episode were not just hiding the person's identity, but were actually lenses that enabled the Agents of Liberty to see those marks. We kind of didn't skipped over that a little bit.
Yeah, they got some money in that organization to be able to afford all that.
Yeah, true, very true. I don't know where they're getting the funding from.
You have to buy your own mask when you join.
There's a Kickstarter going. So that episode is actually directed by Chad Lowe, who has appeared on the show last season as one of the Kryptonian followers, if you like. What was the name of their religious order?
Something of Rao, I thought. It was
the voice of Rao. No, that's from Krypton.
Yeah, something like that. That's good. Yeah, nice
I'll go with
to keep
that.
it in the family.
So in this episode it says, James falls in deeper with the Children of Liberty in his efforts to meet Agent Liberty. Meanwhile, Supergirl and Manchester Black follow a lead on Agent Liberty's location, but things take a dark turn. Lena kicks off her first set of trials. What was with that heart, the indestructible heart that she was playing with the that Kryptonian rock, was it's called?
I forget. I completely forget.
That purple thing.
I'm still trying to figure out what a bit of an inch is, which is what Manchester referred to Eliza as at one point, and I'm just like, what is that? So I asked a couple of friends in the UK, they had no idea what I was talking about.
What did he say? What was it?
He goes, she is a bit of an inch, isn't she?
Bit of an inch?
And it was just this weird... Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
So, well, the heart, could it be something like Metallo? Where you've got this heart, but that's more of a kryptonite heart, but...
Well, they were trying to cure cancer. So they were using it to treat... There were tumors in the heart.
Yeah.
But when they went to incinerate it, they found out that whatever they did to it made it indestructible. So I think that's the idea, is they've basically discovered a process to give people basically invulnerability.
So it'll be interesting to see where her human trials is, where she's going next, will pan out in this upcoming episode. And looking further ahead, we have the description for episode 8, which is titled Bunker Hill, and the description reads, Nia has a powerful dream about Agent Liberty, but refuses to look at it as a prophetic dream and pushes it aside. After noticing something is bothering Nia, Kara enlists Brainy's help, and the two try to persuade Nia to embrace her destiny. Meanwhile, Manchester Black pays Ben Lockwood a menacing visit.
Yeah, he's an interesting monkey wrench into this episode, into this season, and the fact that he just went from just, fighting these guys hand to hand to shooting them by the end of the episode. And it was just like, okay, it's interesting also that he's asking about, if you could read their minds, would you? I'm like, are they going to unlock, is he going to unlock some abilities at this point? Is he going to develop the telekinesis that the comic book namesake? And I'm going to say right now, like this guy a lot more than the comic book version of Manchester Black.
Yeah, true. He's been a great addition to the cast so far. And this episode will actually be directed by Kevin Smith. So they're getting a couple of back-to-back directors of note to do these episodes that are airing over the next couple of weeks. So that's fantastic. Now, we also have some details about the upcoming Elseworlds crossover. The CW's crossover between The Flash, Arrow and Supergirl will be airing, as we know, in early December 9th, 10th and 11th. And we've got some plot details from EW.com, who gave us this image of Supergirl with the... where is it? Not that one. First, I wanted to show you... not finding it yet. But before we get there, actually... before we get to the Elseworlds, I skipped over this and I shouldn't have. John Cryer cast as Lex Luthor.
I am so excited. I know some people are upset because the actor is older than the actress playing his mother.
Oh, okay.
But,
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's like 5 years older than her, I think. I think this is an amazing bit of casting. I mean, okay, so we can get the Lenny Luthor thing out of the way. We can make some Dutch elm disease jokes if we really feel like doing so. But he's actually a really good actor. He's known more for comedy because he was on, 2.5 Men for so long.
Yep.
But there were, he was in Superman 4 and he was in Pretty in Pink where he was Ducky. But he had a couple movies. One was called Hiding Out, where he's this investment banker that's on the run from the mob. So he poses as a high school student. And it's actually a really enjoyable film. And, he's had some serious roles. So I'm kind of interested. It's not so much the question, how, is he going to make a good Lex Luthor? What are they going to do with his character? Is he going to be a villain? Is he going to get out of jail and have a change of heart? And Lena's going to go dark? I mean, there's a lot of different ways they can play it, but I just like the idea that he's the finale.
The 40 takes is the finale.
But no, I think it's a good move. It's interesting. It's getting people talking, and they have rarely cast somebody badly on these shows.
Yeah, look, we know that he was Lenny Luthor in Superman 4. That was a long time ago. He's grown as an actor since then. He's more accomplished. He's probably more known, as you said, for his comedic roles. But the executive producers of Supergirl, Jessica Queller and Robert Rovner, said in a statement that they're enormous fans of John Cryer. He was their dream actor to play the role of Lex Luthor. He's super talented, and that the fact that he played Lenny in Superman 4 just brings an added element of legacy to the casting. But they had him in mind for the role, and age or no age, forget about the age, because actors can play up and down their age. It doesn't really matter too much. But it'll be interesting to see. I think the proof will be in whether or not the type of Lex Luthor he plays. I think a lot of people are worried that he's going to be a Jesse Eisenberg type Lex Luthor, more of a goofy Lex, and that comes because he is best known for his comedic roles. But I say give him a chance. I think it's an excellent bit of casting, and it's right out of left field as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it would have been anybody's top 10 to play Lex Luthor, but the legacy is there, and I say give him a go. I'm really looking forward to seeing how he plays it.
I think the important question is, how is he going to pronounce the word nuclear? Is he going to go the Gene Hackman route and do nuclear? I mean, these are the questions that I have.
Only you would have those questions, Michael.
Yeah, that's just that's my charm.
Yeah, that's it. That's why we love you so much. So yeah, looking forward to John Cryer coming on board Supergirl this season. I think he's going to make an appearance in episode 15 of season 4, which won't be until the new year, but we look forward to seeing him appear as Lex on the show. Now, I'm going to take a quick break, and then, as I said, we're going to get onto the Elseworld stuff right after this. So we're going to play some messages and then come back and talk about the CW's crossover right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
Today, news, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman in Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Sounds like Lisa and Scott are trapped in the icy cave of that frosty-faced villain, Captain Cold. This is a job for Superman.
My fast freeze zapper will freeze Superman forever.
No way, Captain. Here, kids, my new Superman Hot Cocoa Mix is the super-tasting way to warm up.
It's really sweet and chocolatey.
And see, Captain Cold can't take this warm reception. New Superman Hot Cocoa, the super-tasting way to warm up.
Weather must be cooling down there for you, Michael. Probably wish you had some Superman hot cocoa.
Yeah, we had to do the whole dripping of the pipes thing and all that. It's not every night, but we are getting into the colder times, so I'm finally comfortable.
There you go. Well, as I mentioned before the break, the Elseworlds crossover is coming up in the early December 9th, 10th, and 11th. The 3-part crossover. The Entertainment Weekly gave us our first look, or our first official look. I'm just going to pop it in here, of Kara, Supergirl, and the Flash. Well, not really the Flash, but Stephen Amell Oliver as the Flash, Grant Gustin as Green Arrow, and John Wesley Shipp as the Flash.
Yes.
How cool is that image?
Oh man, just seeing that Dave Stevens costume just makes me so happy. With the dark boots and everything, man, they just recreated that perfectly.
Yeah, and they've given us some details. It says here that in this new reality, which has been created by Arkham Asylum Doc John Deegan, he rewrites reality, which results in Oliver and Barry swapping lives. Oliver Queen looks like Gustin and Barry Allen looks like Amell, and the two heroes are the only ones who know they're in the wrong lives and have each other's powers. This not only explains what's going on in the recent promos, but also why the actors have swapped costumes, as we mentioned. Now, as far as Supergirl is concerned, she's trying to help them navigate what they're going through and support them and kind of battle their way back to being who they're supposed to be. So that's her role in the crossover.
Yeah, and there was that cool promo during last night's episode, or the Sunday night's episode, where Alex has her locked up.
I've got that right here if you want to see it.
Yeah, play that because it's a really good promo.
Okay, let's have a look at that right now.
You are as despicable as they come. You are dangerous, and you are clearly crazy.
Alex, please. I know the world looks one way to you, that we're sisters.
So there you have it. That's the video you're talking about, where Alex, with long hair and her hair in a braid and thing, obviously does not recognize Kara, and they've captured her at the DEO and they've trapped her, and Kara's trying to let her know that things aren't the way that she thinks of them. There's an alternate reality.
Yeah, I've been touting how excited I am about this. The fact that they're doing some kind of Arkham Asylum character rewriting reality. This is like right out of the Silver and Bronze Age for a plot line. And I think it looks like they're just having a massive amount of fun. And the photos that have been released have also just made me like happier than I could really think. There's one that I absolutely love of it's all of them in front of the Kent house. And it looks like Superman has just told them something and none of them are buying it. Like he's sitting there all proud with his arms folded and Lois has got this kind of like, Clark, I can't believe you just said that look. And Grant Gustin looks a little confused, and Stephen Amell just isn't buying it at all.
And Kara's got this grin on her face like, oh, yeah. Clark.
But what I love is they've gotten over the fact that Grant Gustin is so much taller than him by putting Lois between the two of them, so you have the shorter person, so it's okay. But no, I absolutely love that they're in front of the Kent farmhouse. It's just a great image, and all the pictures of them with the truck. I had a friend point out on Twitter that if it's Smallville and there's a truck, that truck better be destroyed by the end of the episode. Look,
if it was Smallville, it would be a 2019 model.
Yeah, that is true. They were always
a Prius or something.
But no, it's. I just think this is going to be a massive amount of fun. Like last year's was just like an action-packed, like romp through the entire thing, and this just seems like they're embracing kind of the crazier elements of the DC universe and putting it on screen.
Now, people are saying it reminds them of Smallville. Well, there's a reason for that, because they are actually using the same location that they used for the Smallville TV series, the same farmhouse, the same place that they used for the Smallville TV series is being used here in the Elseworlds crossover for the Kent farm. So that's why it looks familiar, because it's the same place, and that's pretty cool. Now, as far as Elizabeth Tulloch playing Lois Lane is concerned, Melissa Benoist promises fans that they won't be disappointed. She says she's such a force to be reckoned with, and Elizabeth is perfect for it. The way they've written her in this world, she's a firebolt and really sassy and awesome. I think people will really respond to her.
Well, they nailed Clark Kent and Superman, despite what some people think. So I have every faith that they're going to get Lois right as well.
So Tina's saying, does he have a black outfit stashed there? No, Tina, that is not the Superman outfit from this Clark in Smallville. That black Superman is from an alternate reality, as we understand it, from some other Earth, from some other reality. The Clark that's lived at this Smallville Kent farm is the classic blue and red and yellow Superman that we know and love.
Yeah, no, they haven't put out something that hasn't made me smile. It's really just been, I can't wait. I mean, I'm so glad that we're only about 2 or 3 weeks away from it at this point, because I'm tired of waiting.
And John's asking, is it the same truck that they had on Smallville? No, I think it's a different model. It's very similar. It's a red truck, but it's a different model.
Yeah, the Ken truck was more of a, I mean, it wasn't like brand new in 2001, 2002, but it was kind of a newer truck.
Yeah, this is very 1940s kind of 50s truck.
Yeah. It's not like the nice truck that Lex bought him in the first season or in the first episode that he had to give back because Pa wouldn't let him. I said Pa. Showing my age there. Jonathan said that he had to give back.
Yes, he did. All right, and the Elseworlds is also getting a comic book makeover, or comic book treatment, if you like, with DC Comics releasing this image of the comic book a comic book image drawn by artist Amy Reeder. It very much looks like one of DC's current comic book covers, and has the classic Elseworlds lowercase lettering. And there you can see that's the Doc from Arkham Asylum at the bottom there, I'm guessing. Supergirl, Batwoman, Green Arrow, The Flash, and Superman, all which appears to be in Gotham.
Yes. And it looks like the Penguin and the Riddler are going to be in this thing.
Yeah, from what I saw of the Batwoman promo that they've just recently released.
That's insane. It's just like, okay, you guys really are just opening up the floodgates here, so have at it, Hoss. I just, if you want to just throw crazy... here's the thing. They've shown us all this stuff. What haven't they shown us yet? What are they saving for the episodes?
Exactly. If they're showing us all this, then there's so much more. Yeah, Dr. John Deegan is the man down at the bottom there from Arkham Asylum, and in the background you can see LaMonica Garrett's monitor kind of overshadowing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the image there from just a nice graphic cover drawn by the artist to represent what's happening in this Elseworlds crossover, giving it the comic book feel. And that's all that we have with the Elseworlds crossover, so looking forward to it. As I said, December 9th, 10th and 11th. People have been complaining about the order, that the Flash is first on the Sunday and Supergirl's on the Tuesday. This is the story they want to tell. It obviously starts with the Flash element, so it makes sense that they start with the Flash episode. I can't believe people are complaining about the order of things. Like, seriously, you're getting a 3-night crossover event called Elseworlds. What's to complain about?
Yeah, this is the thing. It's just like, look, it doesn't matter what order it goes in. They're all in each other's episodes. It's not like the first year or the Invasion episode. Was it the Invasion episode? Yeah, the Invasion episode where the Supergirl episode had nothing to do with it, right?
At the end.
Except right at the end. So, and people complained about that, and I will totally give them that, because that was kind of a cop-out. But here, it doesn't matter. See, this is... I've made a bunch of comparisons that the Invasion crossover was your typical crossover, that it crossed into the issue and it had something to do with it, but it was still an issue of that book. Last year's was kind of a mini-series, basically, where everything was mixed into everything. This is truly an Elseworlds mini-series, because the reality is just crazy, and you've got the Monitor, and you've got 90s Flash, and Superman, and Lois Lane, and Batwoman. It's just like, shut up. Just enjoy it. Legend, you were saying in the chat that Legends isn't involved. Apparently there's going to be some cameo of something involving Legends in there. And I do know that Brandon Routh very much wants to do a scene with Tyler Hoechlin, because he's never done that, basically. He did that Daily Show thing, which was cute, but it's never been for a show. So
that would be cool.
And why? It's like, it was a good question, because I know the guy that asked it, but it's also one of those really obvious questions. It's like, hey, Brandon, would you like to get paid to do something?
You think?
So
that's the Elseworlds crossover, as I said, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Now, Young Justice. We've been waiting for the 3rd season, Young Justice Outsiders, to premiere, and we now know that it will launch exclusively on the DC Universe digital streaming service on January 4th. So the New Year's present right around the corner, January 4th, 2019, you'll be able to get the much anticipated 3rd season of the popular animated series on DC Universe.
Yep, looking... I will actually have to catch up on the first 2 seasons to really enjoy the 3rd one, but I'm glad it's coming.
Yeah, well, here's the promo that like a teaser, really, for the upcoming new season. Yep, premieres January 4th, so looking forward to that when it airs next year. Hopefully we get it sometime here in Australia soon after that.
Yeah, I mean, if the UK can get the Titan show on their Netflix, why not put it on that?
Yeah. Now, if you're interested in Young Justice Outsiders, then DC Universe are giving members a chance to win a one-of-a-kind Young Justice Outsiders experience. The winner gets to visit the WB animation studio behind bringing the new series of Young Justice Outsiders to life. They get to chat with the artists and talent behind the scenes and walk away with an unbelievable prize package and much more. So you have to subscribe before December 17th. So you've got just under a month to subscribe to the DC Universe service to be in the draw to win this ultimate Young Justice Outsiders experience. I think you should get involved.
Yeah, this may be the thing that gets me to. I haven't subscribed yet. It's really weird. I just haven't gotten around to it. I want to be able to enjoy the stuff on it, so I just haven't had time to sit down and binge watch anything really. So,
fair enough. I can understand that. It's pretty hard to find the time, especially with the amount of podcasts you're doing lately.
I'm catching up. Yes, it's been a busy couple of
especially when you get technical problems.
Weeks. Yeah, I've noticed that. I don't know what's going on. My internet's fine. I promise it's not screwing up again. So
it's always something, but that's just the way it is with the internet, with technology.
Mm-hmm.
Now, also out there is the Krypton TV series. Now, while we await for season 2, Warner Brothers has announced that Krypton, the complete first season, is coming to Blu-ray and DVD on March 5th. Now, fans can purchase the set, which, in addition to the all 10 exhilarating episodes from Season 1, contains over an hour of extra content, including the 2017 Comic-Con panel, featurettes, deleted scenes, and a gag reel, which is always fun to watch. And we will let you know when it's available for pre-order as soon as Amazon has it listed. It's not available yet, but it will come out March 5th, and we'll keep you updated on that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, mainly because I'll finally get to sit down and watch it, thanks to that DVR getting replaced and wiping out all the episodes we had recorded. But I really continue to like that image of Seagal standing with the cape in his hand and the S. I think that's just such a striking poster for the series.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see where Season 2 does go with everything that was revealed at the end there with Zod and Doomsday and all those kinds of things coming into play. So looking forward to Season 2 of Krypton, which must be coming around out about March sometime, because I've said here that just in time for the second season on Sci-Fi, the release will hit of the Blu-ray and DVD of Season 1 on March 5th, so I'm guessing around March we will get Season 2, so looking forward to that.
Still wanting them to do another trivia thing, but that's just me.
Yeah, you went pretty well on some of those, didn't you?
Yeah, I got four of the runner-up things. I ended up giving a lot of that away at Dragon Con this year, all the extras and stuff, so...
Nice. Very good. Always nice to give away prizes to fans out there at cons.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, moving on, pushing on into the comic book side of the Superman world. Superman number 5 was released this past week. It was part 5 of the Unity saga, and while Superman is continuing to battle with Rogol Zaar in the Phantom Zone, General Zod came to the fore, met up with Adam Strange and asked him to send him into the Phantom Zone. And looking forward to Superman number 6, because it looks like Zod is not taking a backward step when it comes to Rogol Zaar. He is just like all fired up.
I gotta say, the very beginning of that dream sequence, or that hallucination basically that he had, it really makes me wonder where Bendis is going to go with Zod. But the fact that it all led to that last page of Zod just basically showing up. But I'm just, when, the enemy of my enemy is my friend at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And Zod would hate Rogol Zaar just as much as Superman would,
if not more.
Because he was charged with the planetary defense. You know, so and he's not Superman.
He doesn't hold back.
This guy doesn't hold back. He will kill you, and it's just going to be really cool to see how that goes, because I am predicting. I have no foreknowledge of this, but I have a feeling Zod's going to come out in the end. But I bet you anything in the first couple of pages, Rogolzar is going to own him a little bit, just to kind of show that, you know, he's not a pushover. So Bendis I'm enjoying the Action Comics one. This one's just the pure popcorn flick. This is the fancy patter of the dialogue, the cliffhangers. He's not writing for the trade, even though the issues are really slowly paced. They're meant to be monthly issues and read on that level, because otherwise you don't have that great cliffhanger unless you go, oh man, I got to wait an entire month for this to be wrapped up. So good on Bendis for this one.
Yeah, he's been copying a lot of flack, and people are reading a lot into some of the upcoming storylines and going, oh, he's ruining it, he's destroying the family, and, you know, all these kinds of things. But like, the proof's in what we've read so far, and the 6 issues that we've read to date of each title, or whatever they are, whatever number we're up to, the 5 titles, 5 numbers, have been nothing but great stuff. So I don't get where all the negativity is coming from. Well, I do, but
and I understand that people like characters, but they're acting like Jonathan has been around for decades. And it's been like, what, 3 years? Yeah, because he was in the Lois and Clark miniseries from about 3 years ago, where he was introduced. So it's one of those things where I get that you love this character, but one, you're doing that thing again, Internet, where you just see a solicitation image and you lose your freaking mind, and I am guilty of that, which is why I'm saying, look, it's not a healthy place to live. But I think, you know, I'm willing to see what he has to do, and it's not like you're not getting Jonathan somewhere else, right? You got the Super Sons series. If that series does well, they'll do another one, and you know, you can pick and choose. So
Well, speaking of the image that you're probably referring to, DC Comics released their February 2019 solicitations this week, and we highlighted some of the Superman-related comics and products listed. And of special note, we'll start with the one you're referring to, and that is the Superman number 8, which has this particular image. Whoop, not that one. This one there of Superman number 8, and that's the Superboy image that you're talking about, in which it says the epic secrets of Superman continue to unfold. A few months in space with his paternal grandfather Jor-El changed John Kent forever. With John now seeking help from his father, the Man of Steel must learn about the war his son and father fought together and set right the wrongs his father may have unleashed on other worlds. See what changed Superboy in such radical ways as the Unity saga continues.
I mean, they're continuing the story. It is what it is. You weren't going to keep this. People, again, I understand. It's a character you like. You want them to stay the same and change at the same time. I get that. But, you know, there's not. The Son of Superman only has so much dramatic potential over an extended period of time. So going in this direction makes it interesting. And I really like the look. I mean, the look of kind of surprise and horror on Superman's face, and Jonathan's just sitting there with these super angry red eyes of anger. And it's just, you know, I'm just saying, you know, this series. Oh my God, it's got a variant cover by Rob Liefeld. Sorry, I just noticed that. This series has yet to disappoint, and I've been really hard on Superman these past 5 years. So. It is so nice that I can continue, that I have, for what, over 2 years now, continue to say, man, that looks good. I can't wait.
The only qualm I have is that they brought in the seatbelt things over around the shoulder for Superboy's... No, I'm just joking. Now...
You cheeky man.
Also, the image that we quickly showed there briefly, which I will show up now, is the Wonder Twins #1 cover. And in this particular comic book, it says, exiled from their home planet, the alien heroes Zan and Jaina must navigate life as teens on Earth at South Metropolis High School, where they're even bigger outsiders than the typical awkward young adults. Under the watchful eye of Superman, the brother and sister pull monitor duty at the Hall of Justice as interns, while also trying to overcome the pitfalls of Zan's brash confidence and Jaina's shy but streetwise persona. If you think you know the Wonder Twins, think again. This book takes the form of the unexpected.
Come on, there wasn't much of the Wonder Twins to begin with. But this is coming from someone that never liked them as a kid. I always found them to be obnoxious, really and truly. I got that I was being pandered to, but I just never really thought, wow, these are two really cool superheroes. She would turn into an animal, he would turn into a bucket of water. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's also some other interesting books coming out in February next year. There's the Super Sons Book 1, The Polar Shield Project, a trade paperback by Ridley Pearson with art by Isle Gonzalez. That is another interesting one.
Yeah, there are some pretty cool. I mean, I'm not really down with Supergirl mowing people down with a machine gun on her cover, but at least it's interesting. Adventures of the Super Sons continues with issue 7. Action Comics looks pretty cool with Jimmy Olsen getting involved in okay, so Bendis over in the Marvel universe did a lot with the governmental organizations. He was a really big fan of Nick Fury, so there was a lot of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they created, S.H.I.E.L.D. fell, and they created this thing called Hammer or Sword. So the idea that Bendis is going to be playing with like the DEO and Checkmate and the Suicide Squad, man, there's just no end to how cool that can be. I am really looking forward to that because I just think it's going to be an exciting and really good story. So
look to the rest of the DC solicitations for Superman related products and books coming out in February at our website. But as far as this week is concerned, here are the books coming out this week. We have, just bringing them up now, if you're reading in the Justice League Drowned Earth storyline, Aquaman number 42 ties into that, and we have our review coming up on the website tomorrow morning of that, and it also comes in an Aquaman movie variant cover, so that is out this week. Also out this week is Injustice 2 Annual number 2, which continues on the Injustice 2 storyline, which is now concluded in its regular format. Then there is Justice League. There's the book there. I'll just bring that one up a little bit larger. Justice League number 12 continues on the Drowned Earth saga, and there is the variant cover for that particular book, another Jason Momoa variant cover. Also out this week are trade paperbacks. Justice League Power Rangers is out in trade paperback form, as is Volume 1 of the Justice League, The Totality, also out this week by Jorge Jimenez. So they are the books coming out this week for Superman fans, and that's pretty much it for this week's episode. Yeah, we talked right up to the end, didn't we? We did, and don't forget to vote in the 2018 Shield Awards. They're open now. Voting for All the World of Superman is open now. Head to our website. You can't miss the big rotating banner on the front page of our website. But that is it for... No, you can't. Yeah, that is it for tonight's episode of WGBS TV Live. We thank everyone for listening in and watching tonight's episode, and big thank you to everyone in the Facebook comments for your participation in the show, and a big thank you to you, my co-host, Michael Bailey. Thanks, Mike. Oh, pleasure as always, Steve. Now, you won't be here next week. We will be joined by Neil Bailey, who is filling in for you next week. So we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Yes, I'm going to be having a super time. There's your terrible pun for the end of the episode. There you go. And a huge thank you to our sponsors and patron, Douglas Meacham. And if you want to sponsor the Superman homepage, please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage. The complete 1 hour video of tonight's show will remain available on our website and our Facebook page if you'd like to watch it back. Now we'll be back, or I'll be back with Neil Bailey next week on Tuesday, November 27th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another edition of WGBS TV Live. Look forward to talking with you then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching WGBS TV Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.